Okay, so let's move on to our main topic, Scream. It is Scream week here
It's
everywhere
it
because Scream is
is.
coming out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in certain theaters and is opening nationwide on Friday. So do yourself a favor, go get yourself a ticket right now. And so we're going to
I'm
talk about Scream. So how are we breaking this one down? So how do we break this down? We go by one movie, we talk about it, we review it, or
I guess we can do that. And it's like fuck, man. Like, where do you start with
yeah,
something like Scream, man? Like, I first of all, I saw this shit in the theater. Did you see the first one in the theater?
yeah. I saw the first. Yeah, I think I saw all of them in theaters actually.
Oh, that was a nice quick little flex. You saw all of them. I've only had the luxury of seeing the first one in the theater. That was it. I just these are probably like the most I can imagine. These are like some of the most fun movies to see with the right crowd of people. Because that first one, like they were. I remember the theater we were at. I don't remember which one it was out here, but they were literally in the aisles handing out Jiffy Pop. Those the popcorn that Drew
No
Barrymore was
shit.
making in the movie. And people had no fucking clue. Like, this was brand new. You know, everybody was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are we supposed to do with this? Then when the movie starts, everybody's looking like, oh, I see why they gave it to us. But that is like probably top 10 theater experiences ever. Like, every reaction that Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson went for, they got it. They
Yeah,
got every, like, even the unintentional shit. Like, I remember it was a group of girls like sitting across from us, and they were laughing at Tatum when she's like playing with the bunny's feet. Like, when she's like, bam, sit, super bitch, and she's playing with the bunny rabbit's feet. There was a group of girls just laughing at that shit. I don't know, like, what they found funny about that, but people were laughing at unintentional shit. Like, it was a wild
it's because
ride, man. Probably one of
she's a teenager playing with a bunny. I think that's why.
and, and one of the best openings of all time. Like,
It is one
hands
of the
down.
best openings, honestly, because you think that's Drew Barrymore. You don't think they're going to do that to Drew Barrymore. And Drew
And they drag it out.
Barrymore was a star. I mean, not to say that she's not a star, but Drew Barrymore in the '90s was the it girl. You know what I mean? She was your lead, and they plastered her all over the posters.
Yeah,
I think she got
like she was gonna be a main
top
character
billing.
or something. False advertising. I mean, they do that. I think there's one person on every poster that's not really a big character, but I think Drew Barrymore is the one person out of every Scream poster that is on the poster but gets killed right away. Right away.
Mhm.
Everybody else might. Well, Jada Pinkett's on the front cover of Scream too. I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And listen, I know the name I just mentioned. We don't want no smoke with Will Smith or Chris Rock at all. We only mentioned her name because she's in Scream 2. That's it. All right? We just need to make that shit clear. Now we go back to Scream 1 where we're in much safer territory. But
Yeah, we're not going to be much safer once we get to Scream 2, I'm telling you right now.
shit. Listen, I'm not going to
We'll
touch
get
that
there.
until we get there. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that until we get there. I can't be the one burning all the fucking bridges, man. Sometimes I got to leave that shit up to you. I have to.
No, don't worry, I'll burn it real quick.
And
Um,
no, what you
I
about
saw
to say?
Scream. I saw Scream opening weekend with my stepdad and my mom's. We kind of just went on a whim. It was like Christmas, and we just wanted to go to the movies. And I knew nothing about Scream. I knew nothing about Scream. I was just like, okay,
Good.
whatever. And I went and I saw it, and it just like blew me away. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on? And I remember my reaction in the theater where I was just so intense, dude. I was
Yep.
just like, oh my God. I was like, dude, this is crazy. And I remember walking out, and we went to like the early showing. We walked out, and it was still broad daylight, and I just remember just feeling so uneasy. It was just like, this, that was an experience. And movie came out in '97, mind you. I'm like 13, 12. Like, I still haven't, I'm not as well versed in movies as I was back then. You know what I mean? And this was like
Right.
really my very first experience watching a movie that had that kind of profound effect on me. And I'm like,
Yep.
ooh, so. Yeah, and this was kind of the movie that kind of just sent me down that path. Just like I want to watch movies now, you
Yep.
know.
Because like I don't think now we always say that popcorn paved a lot of it laid down a lot of bricks for
Yes,
Scream, but I
yes,
feel like as far as what they like that whole self-referencing and these were probably the most self-aware fucking characters we had ever seen at the time, man. So like that was literally like a like even though we got sequels galore now, like that was like one of the most like groundbreaking, I guess, slasher movies at the time because wait, like you didn't have movies that like spoke directly to you, like spoke directly to the audience, like Scream did. You had so many characters, whether they were male or female, that said shit that you related to. Like especially like for me, Randy was always like the it guy for me in that whole movie. Like I loved all the other characters. There's not really a character I don't like in the original Scream. But Randy, I was like, yo, not only is he like just savvy as shit, funny as hell, he works at the video store too. And then at the party, he's just geeking out. Like he's like, yeah, she was nominated for prom night and Terror Train and all this. I'm like, yo, this dude is like the geek that I wish I was and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his movie prowess was just like out of this world. Like I've never seen a character like Randy. R.I.P. Randy for sure.
for real. And I agree. I think I had seen Clerks before I seen Scream, so for me, like Randy was a younger version of
Randall,
oh my God, what's his Randall? Yes, like that was the teenage version of Randall. You know
I
what
could
I
see
mean?
that. I could see that for
And so
sure.
and Randy was like he spoke to all of us. You know what I mean? We were Randy in the audience. Like
Uh,
that's who he represented. And I feel that's why he was um such an endearing character because he's us. And he's not
yeah,
written in a way that's a caricature. He's written in a way where we we could all be related to him. You know what I mean? Like we all relate to him.
yeah, and so much so that you like that scene. Like everybody loved Randy so much. That scene where where he's watching Halloween and Ghostface is behind him. Everybody in the theater was losing their fucking minds. Everybody was going crazy, and you don't normally like Scream was probably other in the Halloween franchise and Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not even gonna say Friday the 13th, but Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street are the franchises where you genuinely give a fuck about the characters. You genuinely give a fuck about the characters, and Scream, I feel like up until that point, Scream, there wasn't really a slasher movie or franchise where I was like, I don't want to see anything happen to the majority of these characters that we've been introduced to. Even like Gail was a bitchy character, probably at her bitchiest in Scream One. Didn't want to see
Oh
nothing
God,
happen to her.
my mom. Um, I used to watch Friends with my mom back in the day. That was like our thing.
Mm.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. I would watch Friends with her. And I fucking hated Monica. So when she showed up on screen, I was like, man, I hope she gets it.
Oh my god. I didn't look. I didn't want her to die, and especially like when you get those moments with her and Dewey that set up what we're going to see for the rest of the series. I was like, yeah, Dewey. Like, I love it. Like, it goes back to what Randy said in Scream 2, where he's like, I'd let the geek get the girl. Like, Dewey's just this not bumbling cop, but Dewey's like this cop that's just like, yeah, I kind of know my position of authority, but I don't know if I'm as strong as I want to be. And he ends up getting the fine ass reporter chick who's just, snooping around everywhere. Like I love that shit. Even smaller characters like down to like Principal Henry. I love that Principal Henry, he he was taking action. He's like if Sheriff Meeker was from Halloween 4 was a principal at a high school. He's not fucking around. Like he expelled those two kids. he's in like questioning the kids when they come into the office. He's like, yeah, remember your principal loves you. Like when he's on the loudspeaker and shit, like he was an active character. They didn't make him like a cliche type of, throwaway character. But I mean, it was kind of salty when he died. I mean, did we ever see Principal Henry die? What if he's the killer? Has anybody ever even thought about the fact that Principal Henry might be the killer in Scream 6? We never saw him die. Space said, I know what you did last summer was better than what? Oh, okay. He said I'm trolling. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. He's trolling.
Beyond Cinema Space also asked, what's your favorite movie slap?
Favorite movie slap? God damn. That's a good question.
Next Friday, the uncle, so good, make you slap your mama.
Fucking Uncle Elroy.
Yeah.
Greatest movie slap. Horror movie slap or
favorite,
movie slap?
Favorite. He said favorite.
Favorite, just movie slap in general?
Yeah, in general.
One that comes to mind is when Jason in the Power Rangers reboot slapped the shit out that dude that was bullying Billy. He slapped the fuck out of that dude when they were in detention, and that's so hard that dude's like, "Did you just slap me?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I did." Slap the shit out of that dude. He shouldn't even been standing up after that. Like, we gonna have to go to jail and get kicked out of school at that point if somebody ever slapped me that fucking hard. He slapped the dog shit out that dude. He really did. That was a slap that came to mind. Shit, I almost said Ben from Night of the Living Dead, the original, but he didn't even slap Barbara. He just socked her, and I hate that part of the movie. That's like, oh my god, I'm rooting for this guy, the token black guy, one of the first, and you just punch that fucking woman.
Hey man, but he had to maintain the situation. She was endangering all of them.
He socked the shit out of Barbara, man. Like, why? Like, and he socked her so hard that she went to sleep. Like, she got up and then she goes cross-eyed and then just falls asleep. Like, she had to think about how hard that contact was for a second. It's terrible.
What happened? Like, you fell.
Yeah, he didn't explain shit when she woke up. He's just like, I got the place all boarded up and got you some shoes and shit. You all right? No? Yep. Okay. Let me just board it up here. He didn't want no parts of that shit. He knocked her like senseless to the point where she doesn't bounce back from it after that. She's just out of it for the rest of the movie. It's ridiculous, man.
It's also interesting too because what?
What you about to say?
I was gonna say it's interesting because last night I was watching the horror show on TikTok, and the guy asked, what are your favorite top 3 horror movies of the 90s? And it's number 1 is Scream, obviously, because that's everyone's number 1 movie of the 90s. And it got me thinking because my number 1 was New Nightmare, right? New Nightmare. And I was thinking, and I just thought about this after I posted it. I was like, would we have gotten Scream had Wes Craven not directed New Nightmare? I mean, we would have gotten Scream regardless, because if you listen to what Kevin Williamson said and the inspiration behind Scream and how he came up with the idea of the telephone, we would have gotten that anyway. And then he showed it to Robert Rodriguez, Sam Raimi, and someone else, and they all didn't get it. But Wes Craven got it, but I think he only got it because a few years prior he did New Nightmare, so he knew how to do the inside baseball without really breaking some of the cardinal rules of filmmaking. So
he already laid the groundwork for it.
Yeah, so would we still have gotten the same kind of Scream without Wes Craven? Or would it be a different Scream without him?
It would have been a different Scream. If the concept was the same under Kevin Williamson's pen, I don't think it would have been as effective with Robert Rodriguez directing. I don't think I love Robert Rodriguez. Like I love that guy's movies. I love how over the top his movies are. But I think Wes Craven. No, I know Wes Craven is the superior director in comparison to him. I know a lot of people love Sam Raimi. I think Wes Craven's above Sam Raimi too. Who else did you say was offered the
There was a
movie?
third director, and I don't remember who it was. It was another prominent director at that time. I can't remember who it was, but it was
Right.
Raimi Rodriguez and someone else, and all three of them passed on it because they didn't understand the material. They didn't
Yeah,
understand the fourth wall.
and at that point, yeah, I mean, at that it was almost like fate because at that point, who better? Like you said, he already did New Nightmare. New Nightmare, I know everybody's got their opinions on New Nightmare, but I think I did commentary sometime last year for it, and I watch it every once in a while. But when I did my deep dive commentary on it, I found such a new appreciation for fucking New Nightmare, man. Like that is arguably I like Dream Warriors better, but New Nightmare is definitely top three. New Nightmare is top three Nightmare on Elm Street movies, hands fucking down, because that movie just they get so deep into that fourth wall. Like there wasn't anybody that was ballsy enough to do that at the time. Fuck all those other movies we're about to do. This isn't even a legacy sequel. This is something completely different. Everything that you've known, all these characters y'all love, all that shit is all cute and everything. This is clean slate. Freddy's real. We're about to do this. Like nobody had ever seen no shit like that before. So I think Wes Craven, he was the guy to do it because you didn't. Robert Rodriguez at the time, I mean, he did Dusk Till Dawn, I think, around that time. Sam Raimi, obviously, he did The Evil Dead and Army of Darkness and stuff, but
and then he went on to do Spider-Man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't see. I mean, I know it's a little biased because we're so used to the franchise by now, but I just couldn't see anybody else but Wes Craven doing a Scream movie. I mean, unless you wanted to get the guys from Popcorn that did it, but it was 17 of those motherfuckers that directed that movie, so we wouldn't even have the consistency for Scream to begin with. It was a whole bunch of those. A whole bunch of
For
them.
real. It just got me thinking because, like, would the movie be the same had Wes Craven not have done that? But Kevin Williamson would have still had penned the same script even without New Nightmare because he was watching a documentary on the Gainesville Ripper.
Yep.
And he was on the phone with his best friend walking around the house. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to call you right back. And he started writing the scene that we all know the opening to. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it just got me thinking. But I think we all know the answer because Scream 3, but we'll get there when we get to
Telling you, man, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers when I get there, man. I watched all the movies so far this week just to gear up for this shit. But I stopped at Scream 3 today. Like I was trying to rewatch them just to be on my P's and Q's. But the last thing I was watching, like a little bit before we jumped on the stream, was Scream 3, and I will talk about it when I get there. But another thing I want to say about Scream is the kills. Like the kills were different. Like the kills aren't like super gory and crazy. And the crazy thing is, while they're not, they were. Like the MPAA cut down a lot of shit from the original Scream, but it still was effective. Like Scream is one of those movies that made stabbings in slasher movies scary again for me. Like I was already used to Jason killing somebody with whatever. Michael Myers doing the same thing or with his bare hands. Freddy just does whatever. Ghostface, regardless of who it was, like he makes you think like you don't ever want to get stabbed by one of these motherfuckers. Like ever. Yeah. Because like from the first stab, like not when he kills Steve, but when they slow the camera down and he runs behind Drew Barrymore, you see the knife go. They don't cut away. Like you see the knife go into her shoulder. And yeah, it's a retractable blade, but they sell it. Like they sell it as if it's a real stab. And to the point where when she falls on the ground and looks at the wound, you see the blood pouring out. It's like, yo, like poor Gert, what's her name? Gert from E.T. It's like, she can't die. It's fucking Gert. She can't die. And I just saw her in, prior to Scream, I don't know if this was before Scream, Drew Barrymore was in this movie called Boys on the Side. Yeah. With, that was before. Mary Louise Parker and Whoopi Goldberg and shit, and everybody's favorite Raiden, James Raymar, was in there. But I did not think that they were going to kill Drew Barrymore off in that opening, man. That shit is vicious, and the fact that they drag it out, like it's not just like boom, somebody gets killed. Like, no, Scream is one of those franchises where they don't just really kill anybody too quickly. They're gonna let you feel it.
Also, too, like the salt in the wound is that she gets up and walks and tries to call for her parents. And you think, okay,
man.
it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, and then boom, the rug gets
and she was
pulled
right
from under
there.
you.
It's one of the,
Yeah.
She was right there.
Yeah.
And it's plausible. It's so plausible. It's not. While we would normally want to call bullshit about this, it's plausible because he's choking the shit out of her before she knees him in the balls, and she tries to scream for her parents, but she can't because she just got the fucking life choked out of her. And then he just knocks her ass back down, and then they start playing that. Oh, they start playing that music. That music is gut wrenching, man. It's all sad, bad. It's awful. Then they show the aftermath.
Oh, I know. You should watch the. They have the alternate cuts. For the opening of Scream. You actually see more of what they did to the jock. You actually see them open up his stomach, bro, and you see everything just come out. So that scene was a little bit more gruesome than what they initially showed. And then her death is a little bit more brutal also because she doesn't get stabbed once; she gets stabbed like 3 times. Then she gets choked. So it's like, holy shit.
Fucking MPAA, man. And speaking of MPAA, they toned down Tatum's death too. Tatum's death was supposed to be a lot crazier, and I would imagine so because somebody getting their fucking head smashed in by the garage door. Like,
but it looks like shit though, dude. I've seen that. I've seen it. It's on YouTube. Have you seen it?
It looks it looks
It looks like a fucking dummy. It looks like a fucking mannequin. Like you just see her head just like get crushed in. Like, I can see why they want to cut that because that just did not look. I didn't look as good as it should have.
I thought Tatum was going to live. It's another one of those things where they don't kill somebody right away. Like Tatum is fighting back. She's throwing beer bottles. I remember people were in the theater cheering for that shit. She's throwing beer bottles at him or beer bottles at him, and then when he runs towards her, she like ducks down and he flips over, and it's like, yo, she's going to get away, and then you see her stupid ass. First of all, Rose McGowan's titties nor her ass would fit through that doggy door to begin with, so she should have known better. She's always been stacked. Rose McGowan, like, I swear to God, she was definitely one of my childhood crushes between Scream and Phantoms and Jawbreaker. And Planet. You know, Marilyn Manson wanted that ass for a reason. He wanted that ass so bad that he said, I'll make a cameo in Jawbreaker without the makeup on. You want me to put a little handlebar mustache on? I got you. As long as I can hit that ass on the set of this movie. Marilyn Manson was obsessed. He was obsessed with her, man. But and then, you know, they came out with Planet Terror. That didn't help my crush at all because like that one leg machine gun shit, Jesus Christ. Christ almighty.
Scream is a good movie. This is a good movie. Like it is a solid entry. I really don't have any nitpicks about this movie. I think I have one nitpick, honestly, after rewatching it, and it's fucking Billy Loomis.
Yeah. I mean, well, what's the nitpick? Like, I'm curious to know what the nitpick is.
He's a bitch. I often wonder, how many people did he really kill? I don't think he killed anyone. I think he killed Tatum. I don't think he killed anyone else. So I think Stu was the one that was doing a majority of the work. I think Stu did the principal. I think Stu did Drew Barrymore and the jock.
Who else died in this fucking movie?
Who else? Mark's not really that high in this movie.
Kenny? The cameraman? Remember he gets his throat slashed real quick?
Because Stu disappears.
Maybe Billy just maybe he just killed Tatum and he just did all the snooping around. Like maybe he was the one in the supermarket that was like creeping around in
No,
broad
he was in
daylight and shit.
jail at the time. He was still in jail.
In the supermarket, he was out of jail. That was when they were in the supermarket.
That was yeah, okay.
That was
That was after.
Right after they went to right before they went to the party because they were in there food shopping and throwing shit in the cart like whatever. They were throwing shit that didn't even they threw in ice cream and tortillas. Like that's just not it's not a good combination of shit to you're gonna be drinking alcohol at night.
They're like just go in here and just grab a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly.
like, yeah, okay, here we go.
That was probably Wes Craven's direction. They're like, so what should we put in the cart? Whatever. Doesn't even matter. We can pay for it anyway. Just grab whatever you want.
All right, Santa Rosa has been good to us.
I mean, my nitpick is small, and like I'm pretty sure there's like a couple, but not a lot. But one of my nitpicks goes back to when I first saw this movie, and this is how much of a movie geek I am. When even as a kid, like when Stu stabs Billy up in the bedroom, like where he's like, what do I have to do to prove to you I'm not a killer? And Ghostface stabs up Billy and you think he's dying. That was some of the most overdramatic shit I've ever seen. That was a bad sell. And he didn't have any knife wounds. He didn't have any knife wounds. Like he didn't have no knife wounds. And then when he comes down the steps, he falls down the steps and she's like, oh my God, Billy, you're bleeding. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like a stuck pig, but I'm okay. And it's like, where are your wounds at? They're nowhere in sight. Like, and I don't know if that's just the geek in me, where I'm just like, okay, there's no puncture wounds at all. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. That was like a small nitpick. I did not know that, in his defense, I didn't know Billy was the killer. I thought it was going to be the dad. Everybody in the theater thought it was going to be the dad at some point in the movie. Towards the end, especially, like, I thought it was going to be Neil Prescott. I never thought it was two killers. That was another thing that Scream kind of broke ground with. I don't know if we've had multiple killers in our slasher movies before, but Scream was like, holy shit, like this dude's got an accomplice with him too? Crazy. And it was two characters that like some people might have liked, especially Stu. Like
and they were prominent, and they were prominent throughout the whole movie also. Yep. You know what I mean?
And the first Scream, I think the first Scream probably does the best job of, you don't really wonder, like when everybody's killing, if you do think it's Billy or Stu, you don't really wonder where they're at because one of the two is always on screen. And that's something that the rest of the sequels kind of, like, some of them drop the ball with. Because some Scream sequels, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, it's like, well, where the fuck is this person throughout the third act of the movie? They're the fucking killer. Like, I never would have guessed that those two were the killers. And I didn't think
I think that reveal, I think the first movie actually had the best reveal.
Yeah. Because of how they play it out. I mean, you quoted Psycho shot Randy. I thought Randy was dead when he took the bullet, and then you get one reveal, and then she tries to run away, and then you get the second reveal right away. Like, they don't waste no time with that. So yeah, I think that is probably the most effective reveal in the franchise. I don't think I've been like super shocked. Other than the first one by the reveals, like some of them is just like, oh, okay, that person's a killer, but none of them were like, oh shit, like how the first movie was.
Yeah, for those that are just joining you, we're talking about Scream. We're going down the list of the movies, giving our overall thoughts on each movie. And we're going to be moving on to best kill, best character, and worst character.
I forgot all about that portion. Oh shit!
Do you have it or no? Because I have mine.
I mean, I can just go off the top. Wait, which one are we doing first? Which first are we doing?
The first one's best kill. So Scream, best kill.
I mean, hands down for me, even though it looks kind of crazy, best kill for me is Tatum. Tatum, because I did not like. It's going to end badly, but I didn't think it was going to be a close-up shot of her shit just getting smashed in. Like, I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't think they were going to, like, show all of it. And then they, like, the aftermath, they had to show her body, like, and it's like, yeah, she's dead for real. She's
dangling. Yeah.
Yeah, that was vicious. And Tatum was she was a good character. She was sassy. She was a good best friend to Sydney. Like I wanted to see her make it out, but her death scene was just brutal. That was when you knew K and B was behind this shit, right? Wait, I'm pretty sure it was K and B. Let me make sure. I think K
I
and B
think it
did
is.
the
I
special
think it is
effects.
KMB.
Okay, we need to get them. We need to get them on the show. They've done everything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if it's 90s effects, like 91 on up,
KMB or Screaming Mad George. It's one of those two. You know what I mean?
and
We gotta
Greg Nicotero,
find
man,
a. Someone needs to find if Screaming Mad George is still alive because we need to talk to that guy.
he is. He's got an Instagram page. He does.
Oh, does he?
He does. I
Oh,
found
okay.
his Instagram page, and I'm not even trying to be smart, but I was sadly mistaken because I clicked on his page. I was like, oh, he's got a page, and then I started looking through the pictures. I was like, well, who's this Japanese woman on the pictures? And it was Screaming Mad George. It was not a Japanese woman. I'm not trying to be. Listen, I'm not trying to burn no bridges here. I'm not. We would love to have Screaming Mad George on the show because I want to ask him about Nightmare on Elm Street 4 special effects, and I want to ask him about Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. It's a terrible movie, but
Is that the toy maker?
the toy maker with Mickey Rooney. Mickey fucking Rooney, bro. Played
Holy shit!
Joe
That
Petto.
Hey, you
Them,
know what though? That out of all of them, that has the hardest poster.
it's the little boy, right? With all the
It's a
toys
little
behind
kid
him.
who sitting there with all the toys, and they're all have that evil look on them.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like that movie scared the shit out of me as a kid, only because Pino. Pino scared the shit out of me, man. Like not so much as when he's just creepy. Like he's creepy. He's trying to be cool with his little curly hair and his leather jacket, but at the end, where he's like got like that like he looks like a doll. He looks like a
Yeah,
doll. It looks silly, but the whole idea of it is just fucked up. Like he was nightmare fuel for me. I don't know about everybody else, but it was a weird movie. It was a really weird movie. But yeah, Screaming Mad George did the effects for that shit.
oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Definitely gonna have
Yeah,
to
he
have to
probably
figure
doesn't
out
want
a way
to
to
know that.
get them on this show for real. Yeah, best kill Tatum. I think that's the best one in there. Best
Yeah,
character,
Randy
best character
for
Tatum.
me is Randy.
For me,
You
it's
like Tatum
Tatum.
over Randy?
I like Tatum a little bit better. I like you said earlier. She's the solid best friend. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she
And
is.
so I just like Tatum a little bit more because I think Tatum is just like the best friend. You know what I mean? She's like a good friend. So, and, but
Tatum's
Randy's
got
okay.
one thing I'll give Tatum over Randy is she's got more, even though she's being like an asshole best friend, she's got more wholesome moments with Sydney where she's just trying to be that best friend where she pulls up on the first thing smoking. She pulls up in the little buggy and she's like, oh my God, Sydney,
Hmm.
are you okay? She goes to the police station with her and she's like, listen, you can spend the night at my house. She's like trying to comfort her. When she gets the phone call at the house, she's trying to comfort her when she's even, it's a moment where she's talking shit about her mom when she's like, yeah, there's been talk of other men. She says something about that Richard Gere gerbil story. She's basically telling Sydney her mom's ahead. Her mom was a
Yeah,
big ass toe bag. And that's, what if Sydney's mom was the killer in Scream 6? Like, what if Maureen Prescott never died? And she just comes back in Scream 6? I wonder how many people will walk the fuck out the theater at that point.
I'd be fucking pissed, bro. I'd be pissed.
The fucking,
Like you're
the
gonna
fucking
retcon the
killer
whole
is,
franchise? Fuck out of
yeah,
here.
the killer in Scream 6 is Maureen and Neil Prescott. Like, they're the two killers. They're the cult of Ghostface. It's them three, and they
They're,
brought Roman back to life. Let's just go supernatural with the shit at this point.
oh, that'd be great. Maureen, Neil, and Roman.
I mean, they would definitely have to go. Roman's not in the running at all. Like, that's not even a fan theory because that motherfucker is dead. Like, anybody that caught a headshot, I don't want to see them ever again unless they're like a ghost, like Billy Loomis was. I
Yeah.
don't want to see those motherfuckers ever again.
Worst character.
Oh man, Casey Becker. Casey Becker. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she ain't shit. She's, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. You want to ask me out on a date? And then when shit start hitting the fan and getting real, I got a boyfriend who plays football and he'll kick your ass. And it's like, first of all, you was ready to cheat on your boyfriend with the phone sex operator on the other line. You ain't shit. You wasn't loyal. She is who Chris Brown was talking about when he said these hoes ain't loyal. I love Drew Barrymore. I love Drew Barrymore and everything she's in. But Casey Becker wasn't shit. Don't call on Steve when shit hits the fan when you was just flirting. Steve was probably yelling through all of that tape throughout the whole sequence because he was cursing her to fuck out. Like, yo, for real? Like, we just went out on a date and all this other shit. And now you don't know if you have a boyfriend? Like, fuck out of here, man. Fuck
You
out
weren't exclusive. For me, Billy Loomis. I don't like
Damn,
Billy
you
Loomis.
do not like Billy Loomis.
I do not like Billy Loomis, man. I think Stu was like the mastermind. I think Stu was the one. People say that Billy Loomis was the mastermind, the manipulator. He was the one that was controlling Stu. But Stu was a psychotic motherfucker, dude. Like, he was over the top. Those are the guys that you need to be scared of because he is not going to hesitate at all. You know what I mean?
And Stu,
Billy Loomis is a bitch. I think Billy Loomis is a bitch. Randy said
Stu,
the best, dude. Scream 2.
He said he was a pussy ass wet rag. That's what he called it. Yo, yeah. Randy was going in on fucking Billy Loomis in Scream 2, bro. He was letting them have it in that shit. That's one of the funniest fucking scenes in Scream 2. Hands down.
Billy Loomis, Johnny Depp looking ass, man. Fuck that guy.
That's one of the reasons he got the part. Like, you ever notice, like, and I think Wes Craven says this in the Scream commentary. He says that Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich kind of favored Heather Langenkamp and Johnny Depp. That's why he had the whole, boyfriend sneaking through the window because Johnny Depp was going through, Heather Langenkamp's window. It's a lot of callbacks to Nightmare on Elm Street in that movie, if you really pay attention to it. And I didn't even know at first until I went and watched the commentary and listened to them, like, break down scene for scene and stuff like that. Billy Loomis, man. You do not like Billy Loomis, bro.
No, I do not like Billy Loomis. Billy Loomis is a fucking punk bitch, dude. Fuck that guy.
He said he's a punk bitch. I mean, even Sydney called him out. She said she called him a pansy-ass mama's boy.
Yup.
Damn. Yeah, Billy Loomis, man.
That guy. That guy's a... Fuck that guy. Almost, yeah. Fuck Billy Loomis. Moving on.